What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY third-party tiny little Transformers review, we're going to be taking a look at something new from NEWAGE Toys. It is their Legendary Heroes number 48 GGID. That stands for Girls Get It Done. Warrior MACHINENMENSCH from the Legendary Heroes line. And it is their version of a G1 RC. Because everyone has to do an RC right now, especially in the Legends size. So, either way, a new one here. And then come to the top. Another repeat of the box art. Looks really good. Come around here, and you get a shot of robot mode and vehicle mode. Pretty cool. Girls get it done. Come to the back, and you got a shot of her shooting Galvatron's cannon at him. That's interesting in and of itself. You do get a couple of QR codes there. It is what it is. 2022, made in China. Age 15 plus. Hey, I'm right in the middle of that. Come over here. Repeat of the box art. Come to the bottom. Standard grade, all that kind of stuff. I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store, but she's available pretty much anywhere you can buy third-party Transformers. I left the instructions in the living room, but she does come with instructions and accessories and all the other things. I did do an out-the-box for her for my members. If you're a member, go watch that. If you're not, why aren't you? You see all kinds of cool stuff. You see an out-the-box for this, along with the other NEWAGE toy that I got. And you get to see a whole bunch of new other reactions and stuff like that between this channel, my secondary channel, and even get to occasionally get early access to the podcast. So, either way, let's go ahead and get her out here and check it out. Alright, guys, so there is Arcee in her classic vehicle mode, and I will say that right off the bat, when you take her out of the packaging, she has no hands, so she actually looks more like this, if you want to consider those exhaust pipes or side pipes or something. You know, there's that, you know, but she's pretty good. Let me try to adjust some lights here. Very pink, as you do, pretty much fully painted. I think the legs and a few other spots are bare white plastic, but everything else is fully painted. You got the white section here on the front. You got the little kind of gray grill going on there. I did put a Repro Labels kind of universal small Autobot logo there. Hopefully one day she'll get a full-on sticker set. They're not doing them as much as they used to. You do get kind of a colored-in door section there. It's kind of funny. And you do get a translucent blue windscreen / windshield for her. And it does remind me of a Lego car. I'm going to be honest with you. Why is my focus being weird? It's because I'm so close. You do sort of have a seating arrangement happening there. It just is what it is. And you do get the everybody from the 86 movie and up kind of thing that pops out of the top of the car. You do get some tail lights going on back here, along with not quite good enough paint coverage there. I should have wrapped that white around to the inside. And you get some bumper knees back here, and some stuff that's not quite 100%. I guess she rolls. She definitely slides. These wheels are all pinned in with little screws, screws back here, and normal pins in the front. They do technically spin, but they don't have a whole lot of grip on this glass. Now, for comparison's sake, in this mode, there she is next to a Datsun Bro, also from NEWAGE. You know, one of the earlier cars, but, you know, it is what it is. So you can see, you know, she's roughly the size of a Datsun. By the way, still wondering why they have never given us any of the Lamborghinis. Maybe they're having a little bit harder time with that. But, yeah. The other thing is, I don't think she has any kind of weapon storage. So she comes with an abundance of guns, but I don't see anywhere to comfortably mount any of them. And by the way, she does seem to have a secret feature that nobody seems to know what it's for, and that is actually magnets in her feet, which we will take a look at in a bit. Also, just for comparison's sake, one of the last new NEWAGE things, there she is next to Grimmy Boy, right there, at least in vehicle mode, and I'm not going to transform him up. I need to get another Grimlock to put in bot mode, but yeah, she can literally drive between Grimlock's feet. It's kind of absurd, if I'm honest with you. Okay. So let's take a quick break, and then we'll get her transformed. All right? All right. All right, guys. So, transformation time. I did do a Taro video for this to show you how to get her into car mode. If you want to go watch that, it'll also drop the same day as this video. So you can go check it out, see the reverse transformation. And it is an involved transformation, to say the least. Considering that she's still a small car, a lot of stuff has to move in a very uncomfortable way. I did go at it blindly, like I said, for my members. You know, I always do that. Try to figure out the transformation on my own without looking at the instructions. And I got pretty close. I did have to finally consult the instructions for a couple things, but other than that, I did do that. So first and foremost, you want to split that piece down the middle. And it actually has an L and an R in there, I guess, so that you can know the difference. Then you want to grab the fetums and the legs and just straighten those out like so. At this point, you may as well just rotate your feet 180 degrees, and then you can slide the soles of her shoes in and down like so. I realize I may have killed a little too much light, possibly. Hold on. Maybe that'll be a decent balance. Okay. The hard part is she's white and pink. Those are two things that are difficult for the camera to do effectively, especially when it's this close to the camera. All right, next, I believe the instructions want you to pull the front parts out a little bit. They are tabbed in two spots. It feels really uncomfortable, and you are tweaking things that are on semi-translucent hinges back here. And then I'm going to bring the camera up. I'm tired of leaning over the table as much. All right, so then you can grab the arms, extend them forward, backward, however you want to technically consider that. You can grab her head, flip that down. Well, pull her face off completely if you want to. And then all of this is on its own hinge right there. And then it has a rotation joint as well. Now, I think once you kind of get this forward, you can start manipulating it. The chest section can fold back like that, and then this section will flip around with some plastic shavings popping out, and then fold that about as flat as you can. And you'll see that this area starts to fill in up here on the front side, at which point you can probably also kind of secure her head in a way. Now, the hardest part about this is making sure the right things are moving at the right time. And I'll tell you right now, I do not have a handle on the right time to move anything. I just kind of brute force it a little bit, if I'm honest with you. So this entire window section also will flip down to cover there. However, we need these sections to rotate like this and then kind of flip back. So this has to rotate forward on that hinge to where these are now kind of forward like that. And then we can finagle things the way we need to back here. So rotate that down. There we go. Rotate that down. And now we can spin the area with the head 180, and then that will form up the chest on the opposite side. Now we can fix this, flip it back a little bit for clearance sake, and these, much like the Starscream, you have got a couple tabs there that align with a couple spots down there. Oop, our face is totally getting caught now. Arcee, get your face out of there. All right. So let's fold up the chest and make sure that everybody's where they need to be, which it appears they are not. It's like if it's not lined up properly, you can't get it in place. Okay, so I think the windshield is not folded back. There it goes. Okay, so once the windshield, you know, I pushed that down, the windshield's now flat. It made all that room and aligned everything up. And now those tabs are in place. You can fix her face a little bit, fix her neck. Now, the legs are the last thing we really need to focus on. So let's get this backpack kind of squared off. So we have a couple things here. This area needs to be pushed in just a little. And then you have these guys here on sliders. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can sort of see what's happening here. And you can push that up, which will free it to be rotated. And then you can see here I use that hinge to rotate, bring this up. And then you can lock that into place like so. And then take this area here and just fold it up neatly like so. And then we can straighten that out. Actually, let's leave that out because that gives us room to do it on the other side. So if we have this pushed in, it gives us a little bit of finagling room like that. Once again, you got a slide pivot joint there. Slide it up, flip it in. That will line up there. I guess you don't have to clearance it technically if you don't want to. And then we'll grab this and swing it in and around. Now, I might have that wrong, but we'll see. All right, so then we straighten out the backpack, utilizing those hinges. Oh, yeah, okay, so there's two ways you can do it. You can leave these this way, or I think technically, officially, this way. I guess it's personal preference, realistically. If you want it to be a little cleaner. Personally, I like that, and they're not rubbing. These actually will bump into each other if you close that up too tight. All right, so one important step that I missed the second time I tried the Transformer, this whole drop-down hip section here, it's just basically her butt. So you can slide it up and in like that. And now we want to split the thighs carefully because there's just this tab here. And they make no attempt to truly hide that tab. It's kind of sad. All right, so we will straighten out her leggy legs like so. And get feet squared up, shoulders, head. Don't squeeze the head too much because it will pop off. All right, and that's it. That is Arcee now in her bot mode. And you can just manipulate her backpack a little bit, clean it up however you need to. But she's essentially done. And let's see if I can get her to stand. Shouldn't be too difficult, but I need to balance it out. And we'll drop the camera back down. And yeah, she does look good. And this is how she would be out of package because you would not have hands on her. And for now, we do have the tiny little kind of expressive hands, which just peg in there. And you do have weapon holding hands. And since we're going to show off our weapons, we might as well put those on. And she's going to fall over, don't worry about that. Compared to a bunch of different Arcee versions, especially from Hasbro, she stands remarkably well. I think it's something about the size of the feet and the way the backpack is balanced. And this is one of the few modern Arcees that isn't doing any parts forming. It doesn't have an entire half of a car to be removed and turned into a shield or a hoverboard. Her mass just becomes what it has to be. And it's not a ridiculous backpack. It's not, like, snug. I mean, they could have found a way to tuck away the wheels, maybe. That'd be about the only real criticism I've got. But as it goes, this is one of the best third-party Arcees we've gotten. And it's in the Legends scale of all things. Once again, repo labels, chest logo here. And if we zoom in on that face, which I was trying to do, but I knocked her over. I mean, like, she does have the problem of being very top-heavy and then, spindly little feetums. All right, so pink face, blue eyes, red lips. Yep, pretty much par for the course for an Arcee. Looks good. You do get white painted area around the collar there. Does look pretty good. And then the white area with the gray through there. And unlike Takara, they actually figured out how to make her boobs look okay, but not ridiculous. And then little kind of panel here in the torso along with the gray. And then you get the pink panties, which are painted. I think the legs are essentially the only thing that is 100% unpainted. And the shoulders. The shoulder joints are not painted either. Speaking of which, ball joints on the shoulders. You do get bicep rotation. You get double jointed elbow, like so. Although it looks broken. It's kind of funny. Funny thing is you don't tuck away her hands or her arms for transformation. That's a really strange thing, of course. The funny thing is her hands are so small that the tiny little 3mm ports look enormous. You do get torso rotation, which is good. And you do get a ridiculous ab crunch, like so. And they made sure that was gray to match up with that. And you can see the car cockpit under there. You got her panties and her butt crack. Don't ask why a robot has a butt crack, but, you know. And she can do a Jean-Claude. It does feel like we haven't done a proper articulation in a long time. Full-on Jean-Claude. And original packaging showed that the top of the hips were different from the rest of the legs. They did fix it when they finally shipped her out. That was a problem that people called out just in the initial photos. So you do get thigh rotation. You do get a slight kink bend in the leg right there. There's a pin that goes through it. That's merely for when the legs are squished together for car mode to give it a little bit of leeway. You do get a double jointed normal knee plus a mid shin knee joint. Don't ask. Then you got holes on the top of the calves there just because. And just ball joint mounted feet with a little bit of gray paint on her ankle guards and then gray on the bottom of the feet because those are her car mode chairs, so to speak. Now, for NEWAGE, these are actually pretty weak feet. I mean, that they don't have like an absurd ankle rocker like NEWAGE usually does. Now, for quick size comparison, before I get into accessories and stuff like that, here she is next to the NEWAGE Jazz, who has always been kind of short. Like, that Jazz has always seemed to be a little bit short. The Magic Square, while I don't collect Magic Square, it does seem to be slightly better size-wise. And then for a slightly more relevant comparison, there she is next to Galvatron. And unfortunately, I don't really have any of the other movie bots yet, because I have not picked up the NEWAGE version of Ultra Magnus. I will eventually, once it comes into stock at BBTS. But here she is next to Grimlock, who's also in the movie, so I guess there's that. So even in his fairly robust dino mode, she's kind of tall. I don't know where that'll lie on the good old scale chart, as it were, but let me come down a little bit even with the table here so we're looking straight on. And I will find on the chart that I have roughly where Grimlock might be. I don't know if he's going to be in bot mode, but one thing I guess the smarter comparison is to Galvatron. So we'll just see how tall she is next to Galvatron on the scale chart. I'll pull it up here. Whoa, what is with the side lean there, Galvy boy? You know, so he's significantly taller, as he should be. Ultra Magnus is going to be huge in comparison. I am interested to see if they can manage a Springer. That would be definitely interesting. All right, so let's talk accessories. We've already looked at the hands, so that's pretty cool. Another thing she does come with is an alternate face plate, which does give us her cool metallic red visor. And in the middle of transformation, you did see how that comes off. It's fairly simple, and frankly, I will say the way that this face hinge happens is very disconcerting and very easily comes out of whack. I will say I really dig that visor. I think something about it just makes it more so, you know. I don't know how to say it. Okay, so we also get a small pink gun with a big old hole inside and a big old tab on that side, and then a slot for the gun, or a handle for the gun, I should say, like so. And once again, it looks like there could be storage, and because of the kind of open tab hole here, along with the tabs that are exposed in there, it does seem like she should be able to store weapons. However, I've not found any evidence that she literally can. because she also comes with a super tiny gray gun. Also has a tab on that side. And of course you can hold that one. So now she's got 2 little tiny pew-pews. You know, one for each of you as it goes. And she got that bow tie. She's rocking it. And last but not least, certainly not least, you get her big old like sniper rifle weapon, which it doesn't want to focus. There we go. Nice detail work. Bare plastic back here, painted pink up front. And because I really don't like this little rinky-dink blaster here, we're going to go ahead and give her the rifle there. Now, once again, all kinds of holes along the side there, so in theory, you could get it to work. What would be interesting is if they could give us, because they do have a habit of giving us comic book versions, and modern IDW Arcee is a very interesting take on the character. Not hugely different when it comes to detail work and stuff like that, but given the nature of the character, it might be cool to actually get an IDW version. Because they already gave us an IDW Cyclonus, so that might be cool. That's neat. And believe me, they already have the buttload of repaints to the other fembots, even including, we do have, I might have to get the Elita one. I might get the Nightbird. I'm not so sure. I don't know if I'm going to get the other versions of her, though. Because I don't need the entire fleet, as it were. Because essentially they're the exact same in all modes. Elita 1 should be different. She does have a slightly different car mode. I also see potentially them maybe making a modified version of this to get us a blur, but I don't know. But she is really good. Like, you know, stumble a bit in the transformation is probably an easier way to do it. It's one of those ones where I'm not thinking fourth dimensionally. You know, that is a problem. She does look great. She has all the details that need to be there. I love the extra visor thing, which of course you can probably use to look at things, zoom in on things, not just do the thing. Also, I didn't really focus on what the head do. The head is on a ball joint, so you can get her to look up and stuff like that. But once again, just be wary of the fact that the head does want to pop open and go crazy. And I will say, like, some of the paint on there is a little thick. It's a little thick around that neck part, but there's a problem with painting some other color and changing it to white. Will always get it a little weird. But as it goes, very, very good figure. And she does have magnets in her feet. I think I mentioned it, but I don't know. And as far as I know, no one yet knows why she has magnets in her feet. And I will show that they are magnets. You know, strong little magnets as it is. So at some point, she's meant to stick to something. Don't know what yet, but something. You know, I'm trying to get her in a good action pose. Biggest issue is that the ankles don't have enough clearance to really get it there. So you can't get her in like a decent A stance. You have to stand with her legs together, which I guess a lady would do. So either way, looks really good. I'm looking forward to getting the Magnus. I have the Magic Square Magnus, but that doesn't really count, in my opinion. But either way, looks good. Go get yours at wherever you buy your third-party Transformers. She's available everywhere. Reasonable price, generally speaking. Don't overpay. And, of course, if you want all of the other versions of Arcee, the other female Autobots and stuff like that, by all means, they're coming. Give them time. They're definitely coming. I do want an Elita one, though, just because. I mean, just to go with Optimus. I think it'd be good. So, either way, guys, do the like and subscribe thing. Go check out the rest of the New Age playlist. Once again, shouting out the Taro video, that if you didn't see it, you don't know how to transform her back to car mode, which is not easy, as it is. And other than that, guys, I'll see you on the next one, where we have another New Age thing. I have several New Age things to do, along with some Planet X stuff. And at the same time, just trying to get it all done here in December. So, either way, guys, I'll catch you then. Remember, as always, keep on nerding.